Did you ever wonder why your parents' basement refrigerator from 1985 is still humming along like a tank, while your brand new smart fridge throws a complete temper tantrum before its 5th birthday? I'm why. I break down the everyday paradoxes we all take for granted. Stick around until the end for actionable tips on today's topic. Jump onto any online forum, and you'll see furious homeowners swearing modern appliances are engineered to die when the warranty expires. But did companies secretly conspire to make disposable toys? First things first, you are not crazy. Consumer reliability surveys show that 31% of fridges with built-in ice makers break down by year 5. That leaves 1 in 3 high-end fridges stranded with water on the floor or a frozen ice bin. Yet official data from the Department of Energy shows that the average physical lifespan of a standard American refrigerator is actually 14.3 years. How can both facts be true at once? To solve this riddle, we must uncover a secret. A modern refrigerator doesn't just have one lifespan. It has 4 different clocks ticking down simultaneously. Most people assume a refrigerator works until it dies by brute force, but the real secret lies in how these 4 separate lifespans collide. Clock number 1 is feature life. This is when your automatic ice maker jams, your door dispenser stops flowing, or your touchscreen goes black. Clock number 2 is functional cooling life. It's when the core engine stops pumping heat, temperatures inside spike past 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and you enter the FDA's 4-hour danger zone before food spoils. Clock number 3 is repairable life. This is when something breaks, but you cannot fix it because the manufacturer discontinued the microchip, hid diagnostic software, or no local technician will touch it. And clock number 4 is economic life. This is where a repair estimate costs so much that you give up and buy a new machine. Your 1980s garage fridge only had one clock: functional cooling life, a metal box with a single-speed motor. But today's French door fridges are packed with features, each adding a new clock that can stop ticking. So am I saying modern refrigerators scientifically suck? Definitely not. Here is what's happening under the hood. To understand why your fridge acts like a sensitive computer rather than a tank, let's look at how it creates cold. Fun fact, your refrigerator doesn't actually generate cold at all. Physics doesn't create cold, it only moves heat. Imagine heat as a bunch of tiny, hyperactive red stick figure guys bouncing around inside your milk carton. Your refrigerator is a mechanical bouncer hired to kick those red stick figures out of the cabinet and throw them into your kitchen air. Picture a giant mechanical sponge circulating through a closed loop of copper pipes. Down inside the freezer coils, where refrigerant liquid drops in pressure, this chemical sponge opens wide. It violently sucks heat energy right out of your ice cream tub. In engineering, this heat-absorbing component is called the evaporator coil. Then, a heavy-duty pump called a compressor squeezes that sponge super tight. When you squeeze a sponge soaked with heat, heat gets squeezed out under high pressure. The red stick figure heat guys are forced out through the wire coils behind your fridge, dumping warmth into your room. Once empty, the sponge passes through a capillary tube, relaxes, and rushes back inside the freezer to grab another armful of heat. In an old-school refrigerator, this loop was dead simple. A mechanical switch turned the compressor on when warm and off when cold. In the 1970s, simple fridges were thermodynamic hogs, consuming over 1,800 kilowatt-hours per year. Today's fridges deliver twice the space on barely 400 kilowatt-hours. We demanded appliances using 75% less power while freezing ice on demand. To achieve that efficiency, engineers turned a simple cold box into a delicate miniature factory. Take the indoor ice maker. An automatic ice maker is an automated assembly line tucked inside your door. Every ice cycle requires a precise sequence. First, the electronic brain opens a solenoid valve for 7 seconds, injecting 100 milliliters of water into a mold. Next, a thermal sensor called a thermistor measures temperature until the water freezes solid. Then, a tiny heater melts the outer layer of ice to loosen cubes. Finally, a gear motor sweeps ice into the bin. while a sensor arm checks if the bucket is full. Picture a crew of tiny stick-figure workers inside your fridge door. Worker A fills water for 7 seconds. Worker B checks temperature. Worker C heats the tray, and Worker D rakes ice into your glass. If just one stick-figure worker stumbles, if the water valve drips and freezes, if the heater burns out, or if a plastic gear snaps, the entire production line grinds to a halt. The main compressor might still be healthy, but to you, the homeowner, the fridge feels broken. And it gets crazier when you look at the electronic brain controlling everything. Modern fridges use circuit boards acting like high-tech traffic controllers. The brain manages multiple voltage levels, simultaneously routing 115 volts AC power to heavy motors, 12.7 volts DC power to cooling fans, 5 volts DC power to sensors, and over 140 volts DC power to dispenser solenoids. When a brain manages that many delicate signals, a single voltage spike or moisture on a connector harness scrambles the main board. JD Power studies show smart appliances jump from 63 problems per 100 units up to nearly 90 for connected models. When a board dies, the machine goes silent. That brings us to repair economics. Consumer Reports data shows that the median cost of a completed compressor or sealed system repair soars past $562. Why so expensive? Modern cooling loops are welded shut as a sealed system, requiring certified technicians with brazing torches and EPA licenses. With manufacturer restrictions on manuals and parts, spending $600 to fix a 5-year-old fridge is a terrible gamble. So homeowners throw the multi-thousand-dollar appliance into the landfill and buy a new one. This isn't an evil corporate conspiracy. It's an engineering trade-off. We demanded whisper-quiet operation, ultra-low electric bills, sleek French doors, and instant ice dispensers. Engineers gave us what we asked for at the cost of massive system complexity. Adding dozens of sensors, valves, and boards creates dozens of fail points. The cooling engine might last 15 years, but if a $200 board or clogged water line creates an uneconomic repair at year 5, the machine's life ends right there. Here's the bottom line. Modern fridges don't fail because engineers forgot how to build durable machines. They fail early because we loaded them with complex mini-assembly lines that make repairs uneconomic. If you're in the market for a new refrigerator, here are 3 actionable takeaways to protect your wallet. First, skip the indoor ice and water dispensers. The fewer mini-assembly lines jammed inside your door, the fewer clocks you have ticking down in your home. Second, consider a simpler layout like a top freezer model. They carry significantly lower failure rates and keep your power bill low without complex multi-valve electronics. And third, plug your fridge into a dedicated surge protector. Protecting that delicate control board from summer voltage spikes can easily save you from a $500 repair bill. What about you? Has your refrigerator ever died right after the warranty expired? Or do you have a 30-year-old legend still running in your garage? Let me know in the comments which camp you're in. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Drop a comment below on what appliance we should tear open next.